So, this is a story about winning. But what if I told you the only way to truly win was to quit first? Today we're unpacking the incredible, complicated journey of figure skater Alysa Liu, a prodigy who literally walked away from it all just to find a whole new way to be a champion.
Okay, to really get what Alysa Liu pulled off, you have to understand the weight of this number. 24 years. For nearly a quarter of a century, the US had been in a figure skating drought, just waiting for the next female Olympic champion. That is some serious pressure.
And then it happened. At the Milan Winter Olympics, she did it.
The most fascinating part of her whole journey is that to get there, she first had to quit the sport entirely. How does that even work? How does a champion get to the absolute top by just walking away? That's the puzzle we're putting together.
The answer starts way before those Olympics. It begins with the heavy crown that every prodigy has to wear, and a family story that's, honestly, just as epic as her own.
I mean, her rise was just unbelievably fast. Youngest US champion ever, at just 13 years old. She's an Olympian at 16. She was on this rocket ship trajectory to dominate skating for a decade. And then, she just stopped. Gone. The shockwave that sent through the skating world was huge. But you gotta understand, the pressure wasn't just about medals, it was generational. Her dad, Arthur Liu, had escaped China as a political dissident right after the Tiananmen Square protests. His whole life was this fight for freedom. And that theme, well, it would echo really powerfully in his daughter's life too. This whole situation put her in a really unique spot, especially when you compare her story to another athlete from the same area, the freestyle skier Eileen Gu. So you have Liu, the daughter of a dissident, representing the US, and her family was allegedly targeted by Chinese intelligence. Then you have Gu, who chose to represent China and became a massive superstar there. It's just a wild example of the geopolitical tightrope these athletes have to walk.
So you've got this perfect storm brewing, right? You've got the prodigy pressure, the heavy weight of her family's history, and all this intense geopolitical stuff. It all just built and built until it reached a breaking point and led to a decision that absolutely nobody saw coming. And her own words, man, they just cut right to the bone. This wasn't just burnout, you know? This wasn't needing a little break. This was a deep, profound rejection of the life she was living. She had completely lost the joy that got her on the ice in the first place.
And it wasn't just one thing, it was this crushing pileup of everything. The fame since she was just a kid, feeling totally trapped. Being isolated from her family to train for the Olympics. Her own dad later realizing, with a lot of pain, that he'd pushed her into something she grew to hate. And then, on top of all of that, the unbelievable stress of thinking your family is being targeted by spies? I mean, who could handle that? It was just too much.
But walking away wasn't the end of her story. Not even close. In fact, it was the beginning of her true story. A total reinvention where, for the very first time, she was the one calling all the shots. She didn't just stop skating, she actually started living. She enrolled at UCLA, she traveled the world hiking in the Himalayas. She started building a whole identity that had nothing to do with triple axels and everything to do with who Alysa the person wanted to be. So when she finally came back, it came with a brand new set of rules. Rule number 1, and this is the big one, she was now the CEO of her own career, the final say on everything. Rule 2, the focus shifted from just racking up points to finding joy and artistry. And rule number 3, which is totally radical for a world-class athlete, the results didn't matter. The journey itself, that was the new goal. And what's amazing is that her father, who had pretty much engineered her early career, he got it. He understood this had to happen. He fully acknowledged her independence. Yeah, he admitted it hurt a little bit, but he also knew it was exactly what she needed to finally own her life and own her sport.
And that brings us right back around full circle to that gold medal in Milan. But now, when you see it through this new lens, that victory means something completely different.
So here's the absolute key to the whole story. She didn't come back to win, she came back to skate. That Olympic gold medal wasn't the target she was aiming for. It was the beautiful, stunning outcome of an athlete who had finally found freedom on the ice. And that's the real prize for her. It's not the piece of metal, it's the narrative, the story of losing her passion, fighting like hell to get it back on her own terms, and discovering a deeper sense of who she is along the way. That is the victory she holds dear.
So her advice for the next generation of skaters isn't some technical tip. It's way more philosophical. She's not saying, don't be ambitious. She's saying, be authentic. Find your own reasons, your own joy, and carve out your own path.
In the end, Alysa Liu's incredible journey just redefines what victory even is. It forces all of us to look beyond the podium and ask a much bigger question about success, one that values courage and self-knowledge and personal joy just as much as any gold medal.
I mean, it's really the journey that I think is the coolest, to be honest. I don't want this to overshadow my story.
Are you glad that you made this return?
I mean, it was only right. I had to do it in the moment. Like 2 years ago, I went on that ski trip and I missed the adrenaline rush, and I was like, I need to feel that again. And so that has brought me here. And what I've experienced the past 2 years has been nothing short of just incredible. Winning isn't all that, and neither is losing. It's just something that happens. It's the outcome. But what matters is the input and the journey. And I would say take a break. If you are stuck in something for so long, it's not that good. That's why I literally retired, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself. And through retirement, I realized that I'm a little bit like of a creative person, and I have these ideas. I have my own sense of fashion. I'm a little bit stubborn with it. And so I came back to share all of my art, and I love to dance. I love choreography, moving to music, and I do it by on my own terms. No one tells me what to do, and I take breaks even now. And I think that's the way to do it.